Also happening in the West Bank on Sunday night, some 450 Israeli settlers returned to the illegal outpost of Avitar in the West Bank. The settlers issued calls to organize a march to Hawara earlier on Sunday in order to, in their words, seek revenge for the attacks yesterday. Otzma Yehudit party, headed by Minister of National Security, has announced that it will hold its party meeting at Avitar today at 11:30 a.m. But according to reports this morning, the IDF has begun to remove the settlers from the outpost. Have they? Let's check in with Avitar. Daniela Weiss is there. She's the head of the Nahala settlement movement and the former head of the Council of Kedumim settlement. Thank you very much for being with us. First and foremost, give us an update about what's happening there. Behind you, I don't see many people. Is that because they have been removed by the IDF by now?
Right now, you just mentioned 50 people. Right now, there are 150.
No, I said 450 people.
Yeah, okay, so...
so how many people are there at the moment?
Right now, around 150. And if you look at the hills over there, and there, more people are coming from the Tapur Junction and from the town of Migdalit. So our idea is that we came here to stay. And indeed, as you just mentioned, Minister Itamar Ben-Gvir is to be here within an hour with all his party, delegates of his party. So all in all, and all in all, I see things are advancing here. And what you defined as illegal settlement, I just want you to know that even in the time of Minister of Defense Gantz, and when Netanyahu and now is Prime Minister, there was an agreement that as soon as this government comes to rule, becomes the government, a formal government, we will immediately enter Avitar.
Yes, but this stronghold was evicted, was dismantled in 2020. I understand that now, it was not.
It wasn't dismantled. It was not. The houses that you see, 53 families lived here. We have here a big hall, Beit Midrash, and we have 53 homes. And last night, 53 families returned to their homes, and we came to support
the people were evicted. You're saying the structures themselves stayed. I want to ask you first about what happened last night in Hawara. Do you condemn the attack by 400 or so settlers in Hawara last night? They put 35 houses on fire while people were in them and lit 90 cars or so on fire. Do you condemn the attacks by settlers last night?
I condemn the Palestinian Authority that consistently speaks about, supports terror against Jews, and this is the thing that I condemn. And speaking against Jews, and speaking against settlers, and speaking against new settlements in Judea.
I understand that, and that's not new, but I'm asking if you are condemning the attack by settlers, by your people last night in Hawara, putting houses on fire while people and children were in them. That's my question. Are you or are you not condemning it?
Believe me, I heard you. And I say I condemn one thing, the killing of Jews. And for this, I'm here. And for this, my friends were in Hawara. And if the government doesn't give us 100% protection, then we will build more and more settlements. What I address the government with is, if you don't want to see acts like what happened yesterday in Hawara, then let us build new communities on the mountains of Judea and Samaria.
That sounds like a threat, Daniela Weiss. That sounds like a threat.
It is. It's a warning. It's a warning because our enemies understand the language of Zionism. And the language of Zionism is building new settlements in Judea and Samaria. This is more threatening than fire, more threatening even than airplanes. This is why there is such a world opposition to building new settlements. And this is why what the Arabs fear most is not the fire. They fear us being here on the hill.
I won't argue with you on the definition of Zionism, because I think there are many other definitions to Zionism than building settlements, or to definitely not to lighting houses of people on fire. But I still want to ask you once more. I mean, people in Hawara, there are babies, there are children there. I know that you're also, you're a mother, you're a family person. I mean, how could you not condemn those attacks of people while they are alive? I mean, there are other things that you could do. You can ask the government to build more settlements, but you don't have to kill the other.
I think a normal human being protects his family, protects his nation. So my duty is to see, mention my children, I have great-grandchildren. My duty is to protect them. And if the government doesn't give them full protection, it's my duty to go to the streets, to go to the hills, preferably to go to the hills and build new settlements, which is the number one punishment to the enemies, that we continue to live in the heart of our historical homeland.
But what about burning houses and attacking innocent Palestinians who are your neighbors? And I know there is also coexistence there between some settlers and some of the Arab villages.
There has to be some balance. You mentioned before, you used the word, they were killed. They weren't killed. They were murdered. Now, when things are brought to extremes, and when I go on Road 60 that you mentioned, and I think it's a miracle that I return home safe and sound with my family, this is not normal. And this brings an extreme reaction. We deserve to live normally. Our life here is not normal. If two brothers were killed yesterday, and two brothers the age of 7, 8 were killed there, and another man, and another woman, and another man, and we were stoned time and again. This is abnormal. So this. And
Daniela, Weiss, yesterday, I want to ask you about some political developments, because yesterday in Aqaba at the Security Summit, Israel committed to stop construction in the settlements for 4 months. Do you think that Smotrich and Ben-Gvir should exit and retire from this government that doesn't follow the policies that they are bringing their voters?
I think that what Smotrich and Ben-Gvir need is us, the settlers, who encourage them to build more communities. And indeed, as you mentioned, Ben-Gvir will soon be here, and we will encourage him to continue the good work of building more and more.
But there is a decision that has been made, apparently. There's a decision that has been made to stop construction for at least 4 months.
So just as there was a decision made to stop, there can be a decision made. You see, more and more people are coming to Avitar. So there can be a decision to continue building settlements.
Okay. My last question to you. We've seen some calls from politicians yesterday, leaders of the right-wing parties, to burn Hawara, to put Hawara on fire. Do you think the events? Do you think the events last night were promoted by some politicians in the Knesset and in the local councils?
No. All the reactions that you heard, all the reactions that you heard were a result of killing Jews. If they stop killing Jews, if the Arabs stop killing Jews, life will be here.
Okay. Daniela Weiss, thank you very much for joining us from Avitar, and of course we'll follow events there and bring you all the latest.